one of the things that comes up is home inspections. And home inspections, I think this is a really good topic. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to squeeze in enough of it here before the end of the show today. But the good news for absolutely everybody, home inspectors alike, is that here beginning October 1st, just this next week, 2015, the home inspectors are going to be required to take a national test. Once again, the testing doesn't necessarily give them the great working knowledge, but it at least allows some level of compliance coming in, which quite honestly, we haven't had in the past. So there's been a number of different ways that people have found themselves to the home inspection industry. Some of them are contractors that have been in the contracting business for a while, hopefully, and made the transition, whether they were near retirement years and decided they didn't want to, pack the materials around quite so much, or, for whatever reason, they found themselves coming from the construction industry into the home inspection industry. And then another way, quite honestly, is that you could buy a local franchise, and there's a number of franchises. You can go online. The thing that's really nice about the franchise approach is that, all of the collaterals, they call them, all of the logo, the materials, the report, the software, everything is really quite well laid out and looks very, very professional, but that doesn't necessarily reflective of the technician that's actually handling the job. And believe me, I'm not here to bash anyone at all. I'm just simply saying that, when the time comes, as I recommend to most of my purchasers, I think that a home inspection is absolutely the best insurance that you can purchase when purchasing a new home. It's the equivalent of buying a used car and taking it to your mechanic. You're going to have somebody that's going to crawl under the house and look around for, wet spots or water damage or mold or mildew or any number of things under the house, crawl up in the attic space, check the water pressure, check the polarity, look in your electrical box, do a lot of those things that, most of us, quite honestly, don't really know how to test. And for $300 plus whatever it may be, it's a heck of a lot less expensive than finding a malady that could cost thousands of dollars to repair. And it's really nice to know going in exactly what that means. But many times, if you have an inspector, sometimes, particularly the franchise type inspectors, they will go to seminars that is designed to train them and give them training so that they'll be better served to go out in the field and provide better services for their customers. But sometimes there's a little bit of an alarmist approach that comes to it. And on the other side, in the reports, it can create unrealistic expectations on the buyer side of the deal, where, sometimes I see that an inspection report will come out and there'll be 45 items on it. And the buyer will just respond with, yeah, I want all 45 of those fixed. And sometimes some of the items, quite honestly, are actually, boilerplate items. They're items that are written in sort of as a safeguard for the home inspector. One of them that we have here very frequently here in Bend is rodents. There's probably not a house in Central Oregon that doesn't have some mouse droppings in the attic. And so there's a boilerplate item that's on there that says that, hey, there's signs of rodents and you may want to have somebody come and take a look at it. Well, that's going to be on almost every one of your reports. It doesn't mean that you have an infestation problem. It just means that, in the event there does and you're concerned about it, you might want to go to that degree and have that looked into. Insect wings, a number of different issues come up, electrical panels, a number of things come up. And quite honestly, in my practice, weather stripping and caulking is another really big one. I think that it's fair as a buyer to look at something or, sort of draw a line, if you will, in the middle to where there's some health and safety issues that obviously those are the seller's responsibility. Those need to get done. Some of the other things are sort of normal wear and tear, normal maintenance issues that go along with the house. And in most cases, you're not buying a new home. So to expect the seller to put a brand new roof on, completely paint and caulk all the windows, change out the floor coverings, put in, obviously they're going to put in smoke detectors and CO detectors and fix the hand railings on everything and all that. That may not be a very realistic expectation. However, it's all written into the report. And this is where having a seasoned broker working with you can help you navigate that just a little bit and say, hey, well, here's this. Let's go take a look at it. Let's have a contractor go over and take a look at what the repair might be so that we know what we're getting into before we go. But those items moving forward, it really helps to have, again, that working knowledge, that experience of being there, to be able to separate which of the items are real life issues that really need to be dealt with and which of the items are written into the report to basically protect, if you will, the inspector, so that there's not any recourse that they didn't disclose or didn't do that. So you can see there's sort of it's a bit of a tightrope, but to go through a home inspection report line by line sometimes is not particularly well served. I can give you one personal example that was pretty interesting, and it took us a good while to work through it. We did keep it together, and the people did buy the home. But the inspector had called out for flashing above all of the doors and windows in the house. Now, generally in residential real estate, what we do is we bring the siding up to the windows and frame everything and then caulk everything and paint it. And that's generally the way window openings are dealt with in residential housing. Well, it looks like they're going to try to run me out of here a little bit early. I didn't see that coming. But I've got another minute here. But anyway, long story short, they told me that they wanted to replace all that flashing, which would have necessitated taking all the siding off the house, putting in the flashing, putting all the siding back on, and repainting the house, which, as many of you can see, is pretty unrealistic. So again, I want to thank you for tuning in. Talk Real Estate. You can always drop me an email at fred@dukewarner.com. I hope you get out there and have some fun. I hope I mentioned enough times that the Roots Festival is going on. And you get out there and have yourself some fun.